Hello and welcome to a 1989 Pro Set Series 1 box opening. This box has a lot of nostalgia for me, as I can still remember to this day as a child walking down to the local gas station and paying 50 cents for a pack and doing that once a week with the hopes of getting some of my favorite players. As you can see on the box, it features back this up, Jerry Rice and Boomer Esiason. Boomer Esiason being one of my all-time favorite players, believe it or not. And this sealed, not really sealed, but this box cost me roughly $16. That's with shipping. And I was really looking forward to opening this because as a kid, I always wanted these packs in these boxes, and when Pro Set came out, it was a huge deal at the same time as Score. But Pro Set really kind of revolutionized the football card market in introducing in the Series 2 drafted rookies, which Topps up until that point had never done. So each pack contains one of these Super Bowl stat cards. This one's very off-centered. First card is the Ron Morris. I'm not going to go through every single card and read off the names, just the notable ones. There is a short print version of this Ron Morris card. It was originally printed as a William Perry, so if we get lucky, maybe we can score a William Perry short print. But yeah, let's take a trip here. First off, we have the little Keith Jackson rookie card. Is a pretty fine career with the Eagles and then the Dolphins. There's Pat Swilling. I did notice that there were roughly 10 Hall of Fame rookie cards inside each Series 1 box. Or not inside each Series 1 box, inside of the Series 1 set, which I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully we will score a few of those. There's also a chance of a Pete Rozelle short print card. It's not really considered part of the set, but it was definitely a desired card when I was younger. So as we thumb through these, we could see if we could find anything of note. Nice thing about this set too is that Pro Set really had a lot of action shots, which was not overly typical with Topps back in the day. So I think this set really made it so the card company in general stepped up their game as far as rookies and also as far as photos go. Now, if we get lucky, we'll also possibly win a trip to the Pro Bowl inside these scratch-offs here, or other football memorabilia. So let's see. All right, so continuing on, there's also a few other short prints and misprints in this set that are semi-desirable. For example, there is a era card of John Elway, and I believe there is a Stacy Torin variation when he passed away. And there was a banner added later on, and I don't think I've ever actually owned that one, so that would be interesting to just see. So as we're flipping through here, you could tell there is just mostly first year cards of a lot of players, because 89 was just kind of an epic year for cards being released, being their first ofs, So, oh, here's a nice one. Here's a Jerry Rice. Featured card on the box cover. And there is also a, there you go, Hall of Fame Randall McDaniel rookie card here. Now these cards seemingly are in pretty nice centering. These are so hard to get high grades if you are a grader. I've never been able to do that just due to the cost of grading. Not that I couldn't, though, one day. I'm only getting back into the hobby, so to speak, in that I had to stop back in 2007. This was the last time I got a box of cards. And then due to a hip injury I've suffered, finances kind of fell off. But I have over, oh, here's a nice Bubby Brister rookie card. I know we had a lot of promise in Steelerville. Had a decent career, nothing spectacular, but he was more of a backup than anything else. But yeah, I was a pretty big collector, though, for many, many years. I started collecting in 1986. So the 1986 Top Set was the first packs I ever bought at the local gas station. At the time, they were maybe 30 cents a pack, I want to say. There's another notable rookie from back in the day, a Mark Carrier. He had a decent career as well for Bucks. A few 1,000-yard seasons, if I recall correctly. And yeah, so 1986 is when I started. And then I just kind of fell in love, mostly with football, but I also did baseball and some basketball. And as the years went on, I ended up accumulating over, and this might sound crazy, but oh, here's a Joe Montana. Really beautiful looking card. I mean, this thing is in outstanding condition. The edges are a little bit soft. Oh, and look at Reggie White. So we started off with a bunch of dud packs, and now we're hitting some stars and some Hall of Famers. Sorry. And oh, Super Bowl MVP, Mark Ripken. There's another rookie card. Man, this card was on fire in the early 90s, let me tell you. Oh, and here we go. Speaking of very desirable 90s rookie cards, I believe this is a Nate Newton rookie. A very classic Cowboys 90s pillar for their Super Bowl years. And here's another card that was two variations of it. I can't remember for the life of me what they both were. As well as the Bosworth had two variations. They're not really worth anything, these two variant cards. I just remember that there were two variants. There's a lot of variants back then, like no real inserts besides the Super Bowl sets and the I think the announcer sets in Series 2. Is a Craig Ironhead Haywood, very popular running back in the day. Is his rookie card. And yeah, so like I was saying, I accumulated in total well over 1 million cards, which I have in storage that I recently decided to start taking some out of storage. And many boxes of, 5,000 count boxes of nothing but rookie cards, inserts, I mean, you name it. I mean, it is unbelievable. Many of the boxes I don't even think I've gone through when I owned them, because I would just buy out collection after collection. Here's another Bubby Brister rookie card. And I don't know if anyone has any interest in seeing me open up and go through these boxes that at this point haven't been gone through in, God, 10 years. So if anybody wants to see that, or has any interest in seeing what hidden gems might be there. After I got injured, I had to sell off many of the high-end cards I had to help pay for medical bills, which was unfortunate, but I still had a massive amount, and I unfortunately had to lose the house I was in, another Hall of Famer, Mark Salem. So therefore I ran out of room, so I had to put all my cards in storage, and there they have sat for many years. Mark Carrier again. And only recently have I had a place that has had a little bit of room to store more cards than, just a few boxes. So decided to get into where all these cards are and start pulling them all out. And it kind of inspired me to pick this, like I said, this Series 1 box up. Oh, there's Chris Chandler. There you go, Super Bowl quarterback. Great career, kind of underrated in my opinion. His good rookie card. Jackie Slater, another Hall of Famer. I believe his son is I believe on the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken, who just won a Super Bowl. And, oh, Nigerian Nightmare. I remember he was really popular when I was a kid. Him and Bo, right? Well, here's another Hall of Fame rookie card. Believe it or not, this is Joe Gibbs's rookie card. Coaches were also first innovated in the 1989 Pro Set. So, really cool innovations of Pro Set. I know a lot of people think this is like the junk wax era, and in many respects that's an accurate statement, but it's also, I like to think of it as an era of innovation in sports cards as well. And I think it led to the early 2000s, which I almost consider like the golden years of sports cards. Another Joe Montana and Reggie White. It's a little, I think that's what it was in the other pack too, so interesting. Merrill Hodge and Mark Rippon again. Another Nate Newton rookie. And the Holman and the Bosworth back to back as well. Very interesting how they sequenced these cards back in the day. Ironhead rookie as well. Some of the other rookies you're kind of looking for, the Hall of Fame ones at least, are Thurman Thomas. We're looking for Michael Irving, Tim Brown, Chris Carter, Rod Woodson, I want to say, and a couple others, but mainly the Series 2 is kind of the one that everyone always talks about because of the Barry, the Dion, the Troy Aikman. But, I mean, to me, there's nothing better than this first year of Pro Set, because many of the, quote, non-rookie draft cards, just the base cards in the set, turned out to be rookies because of how the football card market was changing and how they decided to go from just, 8 or 9 guys per team to Doug Flutie, kind of a cool Patriot Doug Flutie looking card. How they went from just a few guys per team to now you have 3 companies vying for the players, not the players, the buyers' money. And so it really caused a boom in the amount of players that you could now have access to every year, and that only grew as the years went on from this point. Suddenly obscure players that were 6th round draft picks were now included way earlier than they ever would have been before. So it really created what I think is a bunch of great innovation and kind of a glory time for just team collectors, player collectors, college collectors. You just had so many players you could go for, and it was just such an improvement from just having one card company, Topps, around. Nothing against Topps. Chris Miller rookie, this guy could have stayed healthy, man, he might have been looked upon as a much better quarterback than as an afterthought. But another interesting rookie card here. Here we go. Another awesome rookie card. One of the Matthews brothers. Bruce here. Legendary guard, or maybe one of the best guards of all time, to be honest with you. Stayed with one team his entire career. Oilers, then to Tennessee. It was really impressive. I always like guys that are able to do that. I know it's a rarity nowadays, but I mean, back in the day, it was, if you had a legendary player, you wanted that legend to always be associated with your team. So, this early 80s was probably the end of that era. Oh, speaking of the Matthews brothers, here's his brother Clay, another great linebacker. I often wondered if they practiced against each other, like one would try to block, the other one while he rushed, when they were kids, just the kind of questions that you could never ask, but you always wonder, at least I always do. So another sequence of the same cards, another Chris Miller rookie card. I believe in these things there are 14 cards a pack, 14 cards, yes, a pack, I believe 36 pack a box is how they ran back then. And it's also nice seeing all these old uniforms that you had here. And Mike Shanahan, that's his quote unquote rookie card here. And there you go, Hall of Famer Dan Marino. I don't know what kind of collector you guys are, if like these Hall of Fame cards are your jam, or if you're just into collecting a certain team, or if you're into a certain player, colleges, perhaps you're only into autographs, or memorabilia cards. Perhaps you're a rookie collector. I like to consider myself a semi-rookie collector. I also have a favorite team. I'm sure everybody who is a sports fan has a favorite team. Now, my favorite team is not actually my local team. My favorite team is actually the Cincinnati Bengals, and that is because when I was a kid back in 1989, I received a random card in the mail from Boomer Esiason, who was at the time, I want to say, the NFL's MVP and appeared in the Super Bowl. And how I got a birthday card from Boomer Esiason was that my uncle somehow got a hold of his address and wrote him a letter and asked Boomer, who is from New York, that's where I'm from, to send back a signed something, which I got a signed 8x10 photo of Boomer that says, Dave, stay cool. And so personalized to me as a child was just such a thrill. I have the photo, signed photo, to this day. I don't remember what happened to the letter, I'm going to be honest with you. But to this day, I kept the signed photo and have been in love with the Cincinnati Bengals for that reason, and that reason alone. But just because I was so... Oh, speaking of which, I couldn't... Great timing. Thanks for showing up, Boom. Speaking of which, there he is, Boomer Esiason. So a great thanks to Boomer, who not only inspired me to be a Bengal fan, but also inspired me to start collecting more seriously, as he was the first autograph I had ever received. And thankfully to this day, I have saved said autograph. And there's Moon. Look at these quarterbacks, man. We got a great quarterback pack for back in the day. Oh, look at how miscut this thing is. Brother, this is pretty bad center. The Boomer looks nice though. So yeah, how did everybody else, I wonder, get into collecting? Like, what inspired you guys to start off? And what's your favorite team, I wonder, and why? I always thought that the Boomer story was always a great story, a great reason to get into loving a team. I didn't really know too much about the Bengals, but man, oh man, I wanted to know everything there was to know about Boomer and the Bengals after that, and was just been a crazy fan ever since. So, any Bengals cards, especially autographs, although they're great to get, I don't think they'll ever live up to the thrill of, oh, here's another great rookie card from back in the day, a Jay Novacek. Another great Cowboys. You know, I always thought this Novacek should be included into the Hall of Fame, but I guess not. You know, I just remember him being so impactful during all those years. You know, people always talk about Aikman and Irving and Emmett, but, you know, to me, I remember watching all those games and, you know, living in the Buffalo area as I do. I actually quite remember the Bills losing quite a bit to the Cowboys. But I just remember Novacek was always such a big reason for that back then. And I don't know, maybe it just... Oh, here we go. Another Hall of Famer, the Rod Woodson. You know, maybe one of the top, we're going to say 5 all-time greatest cornerbacks, I'd have to say, / safeties then later on in his career. So, you know, we're getting oh, here's another really good rookie card. Another guy that I thought should be in the Hall of Fame, because I remember Derek Thomas and Neil Smith were tearing it up back in KC. Anyone else remember Neil Smith at all? And how much of a dominant defensive end he was, paired up with Derek Thomas. So, I can't remember now what I was saying before I got distracted by the rookies, you know? Oh, well. I guess that's the way it goes when you're recording. But, yeah, so... Oh, here, look at the Jimmy Johnson rookie. Steve Young. There you go. It's a nice Steve Young card. So, but for me, I would... as far as all these cards go, I mean, I have most of these. I'm only doing this just for the memories and for the nostalgia. And I kind of want to record something just to have, you know, for one day. Maybe the kids can look back and check out YouTube 20 years from now and, you know, hear their dad talking about something he was really passionate about throughout his life. And, you know, God forbid if I'm not around, at least I'll have a little bit of memories to go on with me sharing this. Speaking of memories there, look at that back card here, Mr. Bo Jackson. Man, he was a beast. We got Craig here. Oh, check it out. Oops, sorry, I keep knocking this. My camera setup is not great. This is the first time I've ever tried to do this, so I apologize if the shadowing and the sound and the camera is not great. I'm working on it. Another Rod Woodson. So, I don't know, nobody probably knows, but if you're a Buffalo fan, and although I'm not, I know many of them in this area. Kent Hall. Man, another Neil Smith. Man, these guys are... Although we didn't get a Bo in that last pack, I think that we got the Woodson and the Neil Smith in it. So, let me check here. We got 2, 4, 6, 10 packs left to go here. Let's put this out of the way, or just push it back a teeny bit. And let's get through these last 10 packs. Still looking for a Thurman Thomas and a Michael Irving rookie, I believe, is what you want to be hitting as well. But, yeah, I'm not going to complain. Also, Chris Carter and Tim Brown would be nice as well, too. I totally slipped my mind on those. I guess it's Bruce Smith. A great one of those Buffalo Bills 90s teams. Brian Blades. Here's a great receiver that I think has long been forgotten over the years. Very consistent, solid career, but he was kind of overshadowed by kind of the era he played in, to be honest with you. You know, when you live in an era... Oh, here's the Elway. Let's see. Is this going to be the era or the correct? The draft or the trade? Let's see. Acquired via trade. So that's how you know it is, because he was acquired via trade. So that's how you know it is the corrected version of it. So, still a nice card, but not the shorter printed era. That's for sure. So let's keep going here. So, We have, oh, here we go. Here's another great rookie card of a player I think who's been kind of long since forgotten. Actually, two back-to-back linebackers here. Long since forgotten linebackers, beasts of their time. We have Chris Spielman and Hardy Nickerson. If you ever want to see what old school linebacking was, hard-nosed football, you should really look up these two men right here. And another legendary Buffalo Bill from my hometown, although stinkers as they were in the Super Bowls, a little bit of a chokers. Oh, and another Hall of Famer, Marcus Allen. But yeah, I would say that my goal in getting back into collecting is maybe not really collecting. I'm actually going to try to go through some stuff, see if I can find anything that could sell. Lawrence Taylor, great card. Sweet looking picture if you ask me. Darryl Green, Hall of Famer again. Ditka, Hall of Famer again. Oh, there we go. Here's the Stacy Torin. Unfortunately passed away in a car accident, I believe. There's a variation where it says his years that he lived, birth year, death year. So that would have been cool to see, but doesn't look like we're going to be getting any of the short prints in these packs. Actually, it's kind of strange that you're not getting a Chris Carter or the Tim Brown or Thurman or Irving, none of the big three receivers. We've had all the other Hall of Famers besides the receivers and Thurman. So there's still a little bit of time. There's Marino. So I know a lot of people that see other videos and they're always like, oh, I got to pull out these, all the Hall of Famers. And to me, I use those Hall of Fame cards as sell or trade bait because I'd much rather keep the random rookies that you accumulate and turn Hall of Fame players and inserts and jerseys and autographs into rookies. It's just my preference. I also like keeping obviously some Bengals and my favorite college team is Michigan. So again, look at this. Spielman and Nickerson back to back. So any Michigan alumni players, I'm a big fan of collecting, whether that be Tom Brady or back in this day, like a Chris Carter, Ty Law, Leon Hall, Bengal and Michigan alum, so can't go wrong with that. Two awesome receivers back in the day, Ellard and Andre Reed. Ellard I think should be a Hall of Famer, but he is not. Another Hall of Famer, Dolman. So sorry if I say a lot. Like I said, this is my first ever video of recording, and I'm just kind of winging it and hoping that I'm able to record enough, I have enough space to finish this off. So as we flip through these real quick, we're looking for, well, that was kind of a bust back there. That's all right though. Like I said, they can't all be winners, and it's more of the nostalgia feels than anything else. So Singletary, there's a nice Singletary hit. And wow, a terribly off-centered Dean Bichetti, I think his name is. So 2 packs left, you know. And no, I don't think these packs were searched or anything like that, because of how it must be insanely time-consuming. Bruce Matthews, Hall of Famer, to want to actually do that with 89 Pro Set cards. I don't think you're going to get a lot of return out of it. I think it's just how they're put into the packs back in the day. Quality control was probably not at its peak performances, but it was still really fun to open it. I hope everybody enjoyed this trip down memory lane and this introduction to myself. And hopefully, if you want to see more about these million cards I have in storage, just let me know and I will work on doing that. And also, stay tuned because I also bought a box of Series 2 Pro set that I'm going to be working on opening and uploading. So stay tuned. Talk to you then. Bye.